we come to the what we call it APM, Asset Performance Management. And my colleague here very passionate about answering the questions, like Ahmed and Jeremy as well. Asset Performance Management, I have fairly a good experience. There are challenges and there are solutions. The question to Ahmed is about two dimensions. One about the client, how they are realizing the value and why they are failing to realize the value from the APM. And one is about the provider. I think they are over-promising.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. I like it because I've been in the two sides of the table as a service provider and as a client as well. So if you allow me, I can elaborate more in this
Please.
question. So I think why the APM fails, this can come to many reasons. The first one I will start with is the wrong expectations. So having a wrong expectations from the beginning leads to a frustration at the end. And as they said, the secret of the happiness is having low expectations, right? Why you have, sometimes you have a high expectation or a wrong expectation at the beginning. Maybe this is part of the DNA of a sales speech. Maybe you have some super excited new reliability and asset performance guys in the team, so they set wrong expectation at the beginning. Of course, you know the result when you reach the end of the project. The second one I can say is insufficient preparation of your APM implementations. Before you start running the road, you need to have sufficient preparation. When you say sufficient preparation, first thing you need to do some analysis of your stakeholders. You need to understand which one is with, which one is against, which one is neutral, and then you start putting your mitigation plan, how you'll manage or you'll handle all those stakeholders. Because implementing and introducing a new solution in the organization will definitely impact the balance of everything in the organization. So we need to take this in mind. The second one is the next point is lack of commitment. And for the lack of commitment here, I can share some insights about my experience in the implementation of APM. The most successful APM implementation I have engaged with is where the project owner is the business user, not the IT user. Because when the implementer or the sponsor of the project is the business users, he will interact more, he will intervene more, he'll try to make sure that the processes of his department is aligned with workflow introduced in the solution itself. And this, of course, the IT should be part of this because every organization now has their digital transformation or digital organization where all this digital solution should come under this umbrella, right? So it should be shoulder by shoulder, but again, the involvement here from the business owner is a key, right? And this is, I'm just sharing my experience, which implementation was successful, which implementation has failed, or which implementation sometimes the APM provider is just pulling over and say, I will not continue, I cannot deliver what I promised earlier, right? And then failure to adapt to that change. Some organizations, they fail to adapt to that change. It means you introduce an APM solution with a certain workflow, work processes, aligned with a very high standard, but again, it's not within the certain maturity level of the organization. The organization does not have the work processes, the procedure, which is aligned with the workflow. So you just provide double work to the people. They have to do the work procedures, and then they have to come back to the solution to use it, which is extra job to them. It's not aligned with what they do. So instead of facilitating their day-to-day activities, you are just giving them extra tasks to implement, which is a big failure, I can say, from the APM implementer. And then the poor performance tracking. When you start implementing your APM, you need to have from the beginning a clear expectation, what will be delivered, what are the milestones, what is the gate review of what we are doing, right? If you have this, you will make sure that your project is in the right way, you are evaluating, assessing, and make sure you are taking the corrective action at the right time. Not just wait till the end of the implementation of the project and then you ask, where is the value? Okay? The value will not appear out of sudden. It has to be something you work on from the beginning. And then the next one is one very important, which is lack of the data, or sometimes the data is available with a poor quality. So I believe before starting implementing your reliability or APM or whatever, you need to focus and look at your reliability database, your RAM data. You need to have the right asset taxonomy in place. You need to have your correct failure coding in place. You need to have the right address of each sensors you have, because this is what you will connect with your APM. If you misconnect something, this will lead to maybe a critical failure at the end. If you do not have the data structure, then what happens? The APM provider will come, will start implementing based on what you have. They will not wait for you because they have milestone to close, and you need to receive the payment for each milestone, right? So again, availability of the right people during the implementation of the project. This is one of the fundamental issues I have seen in many of the projects. Your people in the plant, they have the day-to-day activities. Their schedule is really busy, so they do not have time to attend the training sometimes and do facilitation sometimes, working with the service provider. So you end up having the solution, having the training session paid, having the facilitations paid, but your people are not there. They are on site, busy with ad hoc jobs, ad hoc activities, so nothing is implemented. They did not take a training, so the project ends, and the people cannot use the solution, cannot implement the process. The last one, because I talk a lot of time, is related to the risk management. At the end, you said your APM solution will help in reducing the risk. How you will assess this risk reduction? This is a critical component that needs to be designed at the beginning of the project. Before you start kicking off your project, you need to be clear about how you will assess the risk reduction and how you will realize the value that is delivered from this APM implementation as a company. That's it.
شكرا أخ